right, everyone, let's get started. Happy Friday. So we have, let me start this timer here because we have 15 minutes to get up out of our chair and just moving a little bit. So if you're at your desk, if you're working from home, just make sure you have a little bit of room. You don't need a ton of space. You don't need to be at any certain fitness level. This is simply a 10 to 15 minute movement break to help you energize, move your body, and be focused for the rest of your day. And it's Friday, so let's start with some nice deep breaths up. We're gonna bend our knees, inhale, reach up, and exhale. Inhale, reach up, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach up, and exhale. Relax those shoulders. What I'm gonna have you do, because we have the tendency to tighten up and tense up in here, relax those shoulders down and just do some shoulder rolls back up towards your ear and then behind the plane of your body where your shoulders and your back are. Loosen them up. It's so nice to pull them back. Feel everything working, stretching out through your chest, your shoulders. And I know normally we say, don't tense up this way, but it's just good to roll them out. We're not gonna do any sort of cardio-based exercise today. So we're just gonna move around and you can relax here. I want you to focus on keeping your core tight and having a nice tall posture. But again, with those shoulders down away from your ears, we don't wanna be up like this. We don't wanna be holding our breath either. Sometimes we can get into some different movement patterns that actually create some imbalances within our body and our normal movement patterns. Now I have my chair here to the side, so if you'd like to grab yours or you want to use your desk or a counter, you don't need one as well if you feel confident in your balance. But what we're going to do is just keep that on the side here. Feet are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. And if you've got some tight hips, you can also turn those feet out just a little bit. Not too much, because we don't want to be waddling around either. But if you need to, just so that you can get a little more movement in, feel free to turn those feet out a little bit. And all we're gonna do is sit back into a little squat, reach that outside arm forward. So if you're mirroring me, that's gonna be your left arm. And as you reach with that hand, we're still not rounding out. So I'm not saying to round out this way. Keep that back straight. You have a natural hinge at your hips as we're squatting down. And ultimately, we want those knees to follow the path of our shoelaces. Chest stays tall though, and we're breathing. Let's do two more. Reach forward, sit right back, and we're not looking for a super deep squat here. We want to get all the major joints within our body moving. So we're going to stay right here, nice and tall. Bring that arm up, and now you're going to bring your arm out, just so it's level with your body, like with the plane of your back, and then in. And your head, your eyes are following your hands. So you're getting a little rotation at your neck, gentle rotation. Still breathing. This is also great to just pull back a little bit. We end up hunched over throughout the day. Breathe. Let's do three more here. Three. Back to center, keeping that arm level with shoulder height. Last one. Open and close. And now from here, what you're gonna do, if your feet have been wider than hip width, just bring them in a little bit, hand on your hip, and we're gonna do some calf raises up on your toes and down. So maybe if you were wearing heels, you wanna take those shoes off before we do this. Might be a little bit tough to get this exercise in, but we're lifting up into almost that high heel position. Staying tall through our core. Breathing, smiling. It's Friday after all. Hope everybody has some fun plans for the weekend. Two more right here. Last one. Excellent. And now you're going to relax this arm down. Again, if you're mirroring me, it's your left arm. Don't worry, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And you're just going to reach up and down. Reaching up. Now we're not having our arm go back, so it's not going behind our head, just right up level. Now for some people, if you are really tight through your shoulder, you might not be able to get past maybe say this height without feeling like you need to tweak your body a little way. We want to avoid that, okay? So if your arm only comes comfortably here, then just lift right there. You've got options. 3 more. 3 and down. 2 and last one. Up and down. Awesome. Now before we switch sides, we're just going to put both hands on the back of the chair. Walk those feet back a little bit, and we're going to do a modified child's pose. So you're going to keep your hands right on the chair and sink those hips back. You might feel a little stretch within the back of your leg and your hamstrings. Maybe, maybe not, depends how tight you are. But you also want to just relax your low back here. Release it, let any tension out. You're using the chair for balance and support. Take a couple deep breaths in, feel that air come in. You might also want to experiment and roll around with rounding your back out or sinking it down. Round it out, or you might just say, this feels really great, I'm going to stay right here. And then you're going to walk your feet in and use those hands to help pull yourself up. So let's switch sides. I'm just going to roll my chair over here. And now we're going to start with the same thing. So again, we're just using this for balance. We're not using it to really put our weight on the chair, just as a guide, so we can try and keep that proper body positioning that we're looking for. So as always, start by setting your feet so you've got a nice stable base. And we're going to sit right back. Arm comes forward and up. Again, we're really just trying to hit all the major joints within the body. So we've got ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, neck. And get that blood flowing through them. Get us out of one particular position we might sometimes get stuck in. Good, we've got 3 more. Sit right back and up. First motion is those hips going back, keeping that weight in your heels. Last one, down and up. Awesome, and now we're gonna bring that arm up to shoulder level, and we're gonna open. Follow that hand with our eyes. Get some gentle rotation in at the neck. Breathing, smiling. You might find your heart rate comes up a little bit. Any movement is definitely going to increase your heart rate. Good. Open. Close. 3 more this way. 3 and 2. Last one. And we're going to bring that arm back down. You can place it right on your hip. Again, if your feet were a little bit wider than hips, let's bring them in so they're hip width apart. And we're coming up onto those toes, into that high heel position. Up and down. Try and feel yourself roll from your heel to your toe. Staying nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, which is the beauty of any of these movements. You've got 1 more. Up and down. Now this arm comes down. Again, if you're mirroring me on this side, now that right arm, here we go. Relax your shoulders, look straight up and down. Lift and down. And again, as you're doing this, make sure that your head's not coming forward. We never want to compensate or trade one movement pattern for another. So do what you can without ever forcing. We've got 4 more here. 4 and down. 3 and down. 2. Last one, reach up. Lengthen through that spine, through that body. Down. We're gonna do the same thing now. So we're gonna go into a modified child's pose. So hands are gonna go on the back of the chair. walk those feet back a little bit. Again, you're not putting all your body weight on the chair, it's just here for support. And we're gonna sink back into those heels, those hips. Arms are forward. You might even want to reach a little bit forward with your arms if that feels good. This is always trial and error. So when you're trying to find different movements, different positions that feel good, as long as there's no pain or there's no pulling on any opposite end, you have that ability to kind of see what those limits are and what movements feel good and best for you. And you always want to be able to breathe through. So the other thing we don't want to compensate is that we have to hold our breath to get into a certain position. And so here, one more deep breath. Exhale, and then use that chair for support as you walk your feet back in. Now, before we switch sides again, we're just going to do some stretching for the whole side of our body. So we'll stay on this side, and I'll talk to you as if you're mirroring me. So we've got our left hand on the chair, left leg is closest to the chair. You're gonna take your right leg and sweep it behind that left leg. And what we're gonna do is take our right arm and lift it up and over. And we're gonna hold here. Feel a nice stretch down the side of your body as you breathe in, feel those ribs expand, and exhale. So again, we're not holding our breath in that position. Breathe in as you sweep up and over. Hang out here. Take a couple breaths. Feel those ribs expanding. Feeling that air coming in. Nice little stretch. And down. And one more time. Up and over. And down. And now what you're going to do is keep your feet in this position. Take that right arm, you're just going to place it on your right leg, and we're going to use the chair for balance. Keep those knees slightly bent. You don't want them locked straight back. And we're just going to hinge down. Slide your hand right down your legs. It's going to switch over to that left leg. Now you're feeling a nice stretch down the back of your legs and a little bit on the outside of those hips. Come on up. And again, let me show you from the side. So we're here, hinging back, hips go back, hands stays nice and close to the legs. And you might feel a stretch. You might need to stop right above your knee. That's totally fine. Feeling that stretch in the outside here, a little bit in the back. Coming up, one more time. Down. That back is staying nice and straight, so we're not rounding out here. Keep it straight, push those hips back. You should not really be reaching for your ankles or your toes. That's not what this stretch is for. It's about getting those hips back. And come on up. And we'll uncross those legs and let's switch sides. So if you need to, roll that chair over. So now we have our right side against the chair. Right hand is here for balance. We're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna sweep it around. Now, if you have a hard time bringing your leg all the way around, you also can just have it in like a staggered position. I mean, you can't really see my feet here, but it's more of like a tightrope instead of having that leg sweeping back this way. All right, so we are sweeping the outside leg. That left leg comes back around the right leg, and we're here for balance. Now that left arm is coming up and over. Inhale, feels so good. And breathe. Exhale, bring that arm down. We try to work our way up, so you may or may not notice a difference in the timing. Sweep up and over, but as we do this, we typically can hang out a little bit longer in the stretch the more we do it. And these are dynamic. Exhale. So we're holding a little bit, but we're really trying to move through it. Last one, up. And exhale. And now we're staying in this position again. Left hand comes on top of that left leg. Back stays flat, and we're gonna push those hips back. Slide that hand down. Again, we're not reaching, we're not rounding our back out. We're straining to touch our shoes. Come on up. And again, slide that hand down. Keeping that hand close to your legs also protects your low back. Down. You might feel you can go a little bit further each time. That's okay. Come on up. Again, as long as you're not holding your breath. Last one right here. Make it count. Come on down. And come on up. And we're just gonna finish with 3 deep breaths. I hope that you're feeling great. I hope that your joints feel a little bit looser, like you can move around. So step away from the chair so we don't back it. Bend those knees, inhale, reach up. And exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Bring in that positive energy. And exhale. Release any tension. Remember, everything starts with the breath. It's super important. It's something that we take for granted. Does anyone have any questions for me at all? I don't think so today. Thank you all so much for being here. I so appreciate you taking some time to join me on a Friday morning to get up out of your chair and move. I know it's short, but I hope it's sweet. I hope you enjoyed it, and reach out if you have any questions. Have an awesome weekend.